Hello and welcome to WJTS-Inform. 4-H is one terrific program for youth and for adults. Let's find out about that in this edition of WJTS-Inform. Joining me in the studio is Ashlee Niehaus. Ashlee is the program assistant for the Dubois County Extension Office.
Correct.
And Ashlee, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good. How are you?
Good. Now, let's talk about 4-H. You are into I'm going to call it a recruitment program.
Yes,
I
we
guess
call it a campaign. It's a campaign.
Okay.
It's an election year. We'll call it a campaign.
That's
we'll
right.
have our own 4-H campaign this year.
So we're having a campaign, a recruitment, an enrollment sort of thing.
Right.
So let's talk about, I guess, who can enroll in 4-H as far as youth is concerned.
Okay, so obviously any youth in the county. So grades K through 12. So our kindergarten, first and second graders enroll in our mini 4-H program. Okay. And so those three grade levels, their participation in 4-H is just as it can be as older kids, but it's more of an introductory level. And then grades 3 through 12, you can enroll in 4-H, you can participate fully. We have camps, we have projects, we have different types of clubs that you can do. So pretty much any youth that wants to participate, grades K through 12, they can sign up and join 4-H.
Now 4-H really is a year-long event or
right.
Thing that you do. We always think of 4-H, it's 4-H Fair Week in July, and basically that's 4-H. Well, no, that's not the case, because 4-H is all year long, doing things all year long.
Right, and this year especially, I think we're going to get to see that more. 4-H enrollment is changing for this year and for the next few years. We're really excited about it. All enrollment for 4-H will be online this year, and so you can go to a website, you enroll, you pick your club, you pick your project. The key to this, though, that we want everybody to realize is you must enroll in 4-H between November 1st and January 15th. So there's a shorter window this year for 4-H enrollment. In the past, people thought, well, if we trickle in here and sign up there, it'll be okay. Well, not this year. You have to be in before January 15th.
So if you're not enrolled by the 15th and it's 3 weeks before the fair, you can't decide, I want to be in 4-H.
Correct.
Ah, okay.
You cannot take a project to the fair.
Okay.
So if you are not enrolled in 4-H by January 15th, you will not be able to exhibit a project at the fair.
And you have to do this online?
Yes, you have to do this online. If you do realize after January 15th that you want to participate in 4-H, you can still participate. You just cannot exhibit a project. So you can go to your club meetings, you could still run for an officer, you could do different trips, you could do our 4-H camp that we have. You can still complete your 4-H year. You just cannot physically take a project to the fair.
Okay.
But we're encouraging everybody to get in before January 15th, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Okay, what if somebody doesn't have access to a computer? Can they come to your office or
Yeah,
the library,
they
I guess?
can. We've talked with the Jasper Library, and I know the other county libraries would be supportive as well as helping people. But you can always come to our office. We have access to a laptop. We've got a tablet. I typically have my iPad in at the office, and we can get you up and get you going. And it's a really easy, user-friendly system. You go in, you create a profile. It's a family profile. So once you create that family profile, you just click to add member, and you add, if it's a youth, you add your youth, or if you have multiple kids, each one of them, they get their own little member account. You go in, you pick your projects that you want to do, and you're set and you're ready to go. It's easy like that.
Okay, now, why should someone be in 4-H? What good does it do for the kids?
I think the thing that is easiest to sum up 4-H is character development. And so for some people are like, well, what is character development? Well, for me, you hear a lot of kids, for instance, enrolling in 4-H before January 15th. That's responsibility. They've got to take that upon themselves to realize there's a deadline and they have to hit before that deadline. So, there's responsibility, there's time management when it comes to working on projects, completing projects, turning them in on time, picking them up on time, which a lot of people like to forget about.
Right.
So, you've got all of that. Then you look at some of your older kids who are running for different offices at their 4-H club. So whether you've got a youth president, vice president, treasurer, so you've got responsibility and leadership skills, civic engagement, because this past year we had Representative Larry Bouchon come down during fair. We were able to recruit a couple of our junior leaders to actually take him on a tour of our fair. So there are all kinds of different opportunities like that our kids get to engage in, even, you know, in 1 year 4-H, but even more so as they progress throughout. They get to just keep gaining more.
Now, you know, you talk about things that you don't even think about you learn through 4-H.
Right.
I know you also learn some basic skills. How to cook.
You do, yeah.
You know, electricity, computer skills.
Yes.
And if you're doing livestock, you learn how to take care of an animal. So there is so much that 4-H teaches you that I don't know of any other way that kids could learn the things that they get in 4-H.
Right, and you know, the thing, a lot of kids, you know, woodworking is a great example. Constructing a piece of furniture or something made out of wood, not every child is going to have the opportunity to do that because they don't have the facility or the tools or the materials that they might need, or even like a parent or a guardian that has that skill set to teach them. Well, within 4-H, we can try to hook them up with the right people to get them to learn these skills and get them to have access to a place to go to actually do projects like that. And it's safety too. You know, a lot like shooting sports is one of our biggest projects and clubs, and safety is a big thing with that. You know, people think fun and hunting and outdoors, but safety is huge. And so if we can teach kids the skills they need to do the projects and the safety on top of that, it's a win-win.
Now, you mentioned like the shooting sports club. I know there's the horse and pony club.
Correct.
But there's also a club in Ferdinand. There's a club in Jasper in Ireland. How or which clubs should kids join?
We have two different types of clubs. We have our county clubs, or it's easier to think of them as a special interest club, and that is your shooting sports, wranglers, our clogging club, Paws and Pals, our Hoppers Club, which is a rabbit club. Those are special interests. You know, their main focus, when they have meetings, club meetings, the majority of that meeting pertains to whatever that project is or that interest is. Then we have what we call our local clubs. So those would be your clubs that are local to your community. So we have a few clubs in Ferdinand, a couple clubs that cover the Schnellville, St. Anthony area, Huntingburg, Holland, Jasper, Ireland, Hayesville, all the, I think Dubois and Celestine, you know, we have a couple clubs up in that area. So those are what we call our local clubs. Those tend to be kids that you've grown up with in the neighborhood, you go to school with, you see more so on a daily basis.
Can you join two clubs, or do you join?
You can.
So you could join a local club and a specialty club?
Yes, correct. Okay. I was in Talent Seekers. I grew up in St. Anthony, so I was in Talent Seekers for 10 years. I was also in the Shooting Sports Club for 10 years. So you can do a special interest club or a county club, and you can do a local club.
What are Junior Leaders?
Junior Leaders is a club. It's also a project, and I think it's one of the best clubs in our program. It is open to kids in grades 7 through 12, and it's all about leadership. So our kids do a lot during Fair Week. Like I said with Larry Bouchon, they were able to go through and they were able to do a tour of our fair. We have different camps that come in during Fair Week, and they do tours and they get to give little talk-throughs of what's exciting. They also do different activities and projects. They like to get together as a group and just kind of hang out and have fun. It's what teenagers do. And then, you know, there's a couple like community service projects that they can get together and do. They also have opportunities to go at our 4-H camp. They get to be our camp counselors. So, you know, it's that little bit of that extra leadership role that they get to take on. Something new, this is our second year for this, we have a Junior Leader 4-H Advisory Board. And basically we have 2 to 3 members from our 4-H Junior Leaders that sit on the 4-H Council and provide that youth voice and provide that youth aspect. So we're just trying to figure out different ways of incorporating them, kind of helping them to step up into more of a leadership role.
Now, we've been talking a lot about youth and kids being involved. How can adults be involved in 4-H?
Adults, obviously, the more volunteers, you know, the easier it is to do things. You've got more hands-on whenever you need them. And for our youth, actually you go to the online website, and it's the same for adult volunteers. The difference is when you add member, you would add adult member. Now for our adults, there's a little bit more of a process that goes on behind the scenes. Of course, you know, we've got some adult behavioral expectation, different things like that they need to fill out the forms for, and that's just for the safety of our kids. But that's it's a simple process. The Extension Office will help walk them through that. But for anybody that wants to enroll in 4-H, the website is in.4honline.com. I wish I had a big poster of it to show you. I just have the little website. But if you go in and you Google Indiana 4-H enrollment, or it's pretty simple. I've done it a couple times because I forget what the web address is. So if you just Google that, you can find it. You click on it, make sure you enroll in Dubois County. You just select that county, and it's pretty simple. It'll walk you through.
It's something else I think we missed, that a reason to join 4-H is the friendships that these kids develop. I know that I did an interview at the fair this past year, and it was two young ladies. Well, one was from Huntingburg and one was from Dubois. And if it weren't for 4-H, they probably never would have met each other and would be friends that, you know, I think they were both in the swine barn, maybe, or the beef barn somehow. And I thought, isn't that neat? That's really what 4-H is. It brings the two ends of the county together and makes people realize that there are other people outside of their own school system.
One of the opportunities I get to see every year is our Queen's Court, because they're in the office more, and so you're working with a court of girls that have not known each other for a very long amount of time. And so by that beginning of the week to the end of the week, you can see how they start, not as individuals, but you know, they kind of have their, well, I know this person, I know that person, to where at the end of the week, they're all friends. They all know each other. And it's the same way in the animal barns. In our different clubs, junior leaders, you know, we've got kids who are friends out on, my dad coaches soccer, and so on a soccer field, you'll see kids out there high-fiving from opposite teams because they know each other through 4-H.
Yeah, through 4-H. Yeah.
So it's really neat to see, and it's a great way to just get to know people in your community countywide. So.
And enrollment is going on now till January 15th.
Right.
And the most important thing is enroll now, because after January 15th,
yes,
it's really too late to join and take something to the fair.
Correct.
And you want to take something to the fair. That's
it is. It's an exciting opportunity. We have a whole list of projects on this sheet. I know it's going to be really tiny, but I mean, we have 3 columns of different projects that everybody can take. So there is definitely something there for everybody, whether it's the creative arts, crafts, livestock, animal, health and wellness. I mean, it covers all spectrums. So there is definitely something in our county for youth to participate in.
All right, Ashlee, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Join 4-H, or get your kids to join 4-H. Thank you for watching. Our guest has been Ashlee Niehaus. She's a program assistant for the Dubois County Extension Service. And remember, you have until January 15th to sign up for 4-H. So do it now, and you need to do it online. If you have questions, please call your local extension office, because it's the same for all the counties that WJTS serves. Thank you for watching WJTS Inform. We're local people watching local people.